Here are my early 2022 XXL Freshman class predictions. Normally I make like 2 or 3 of these videos predicting who's on the cover. Last year I only made 1. So if you look back at last year's video, I got a lot wrong. I never posted my final predictions. I made the art and everything. Here's the art. I got like 5 or so correct. This video that I'm making right now, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot more wrong. So I'm definitely gonna need to make a part 2 to this once it gets a little closer, because just looking at the list right now, it doesn't look right. So we could talk about the first artist, Sofico. In 2021, he had a blow up song in Knock Knock, having 160 million plays on Spotify, 42 million on YouTube. That's an amazing accomplishment. Out of everybody I have on this list, he's probably the one artist that I feel majority of people can't agree on, because his come up last year was amazing. He should be on it, but will he be on it? I'm not entirely sure. He's a part of Cactus Jack Records, and I believe 2 years ago, Don Toliver was going to be on it, but he didn't want to do the freestyles, he didn't want to do the ciphers, so he didn't end up making the list. But then the following year, Ian Dior did the same exact thing and just did the cover shoot and not participate in the ciphers, not participate in the freestyles. So hopefully they get it right with Sofico this year. Next artist we're talking about is SGKOBE, a very similar sound to Sofico. I think a lot of the fans of Sofico will probably listen to SGKOBE and vice versa. To see both of these guys on a cypher together, that'd be pretty interesting. His most popular song blew up last year, Thrax, over 24 million plays and over 1 million Spotify monthly listeners. If I say any numbers, it'll probably be from Spotify, because that's really a good indication of how artists are doing musically. Although I feel like he would be a perfect pairing in a cypher with Sofico, I'm not entirely sure if XXL would put him on here. I feel like it might be a year too early, but next year it might be a year too late. So better to take the chance now and have him on the cover and see what happens. Next artist we're talking about is Glaive. It's only a matter of time before XXL puts an artist who has risen to fame off of TikTok, and I feel Glaive is the perfect artist to put here. I know they've put other artists that blew up off TikTok, but I feel this man's career is solely based off that, and moving forward I'm assuming it's going to be even better. He's leading the genre of hyper pop, is what it seems to be called. Another good person to put here, Eric DOA. I feel like they'll either have one or the other, or they should at least, because these are the people that are leading that genre. It really all depends on what XXL thinks is rap, hip hop, and I guess R&B, because they've done singing people in the past, and that continues to be the thing. But will they put an artist like Glaive on here? Hopefully, because he's doing big things. I think it would be very interesting. It would spice up the ciphers, the freestyles, and also just name recognition that more people know about. Next artist is Yeet. He got the Drake cosign, and ever since then he's been blowing up like crazy. He's really up next, and it kind of seems like he came out of nowhere, but he's been doing music for the past couple of years, and I guess now he's finally getting to shine, so good for him. I enjoy a couple songs of his, and the songs that I have heard are very Playboy Cardi-esque. At least the instrumentals he raps over sound very similar to that, and it's a nice style. Hopefully he switches it up in the future, because his older music doesn't really sound like what he's making now, and I guess that's progression, but at the same time you don't want to just stay one sound, or maybe you do. Maybe it might work for him. I think it's pretty much a lock for the 2022 XXL freshman list. Twitter is gassing him up, and I can't say for sure that majority of these artists I mentioned are going to be locked in for 2022 to be on the cover, because like I said, I just don't know. I'm gonna have to wait to see when they drop those why I should be on the list interviews, if they do that, or if they have the 10th voting again, because that's usually when I get a good indication on who's making it and who's not. Next artist we're talking about is Cochise. We talked about Yeet kind of having these Playboy Cardi inspired instrumentals. Cochise kind of has a very similar Playboy Cardi sound, a voice. I think if they were on the cover together, these two would be a very interesting dynamic to be in a cypher together, and that's why I picked them. Last year was definitely too early. This year I feel is the perfect time for him to be on the cover. Next year probably doesn't really need it, but it's interesting seeing these new artists come up and having these inspirations, I guess, in their music that you could clearly hear. I think XXL needs a more variety of name recognition artists and artists on the rise. Last year was by far one of the most poorest covers since like 2015. I feel like Cochise has a strong probability of making it this year. Next artist we're talking about making the list is K-Flock. He's not gonna make the list, unfortunately. He's one of the hottest rising artists in New York. XXL missed their chance on Chef G, on Sleepy Hollow, but K-Flock, I love his music, but he's not making the list, unfortunately. I'm just putting him here because it was really difficult for me to come up with 10 upcoming artists that are on the brink of superstardom. He's in jail for apparently murdering somebody, and that's never a good look. But if he didn't do that, I think he would have a really solid chance of making this year's cover. And a freestyle or cypher with him over a drill beat, it's always nice to see. He was gaining popularity insanely quick, and I guess in a sense he still is, but it's not looking so good for K-Flock. Let's talk about Naruto Wick next. I personally feel he's another one of those locks for the XXL Freshman list. He has songs with guys like Future, Lil Baby, Lil Durk, and I could see him easily having a career in terms of popularity to guys like Youngboy, Lil Baby, Roddy Ricch. I feel I still have to dive deeper into the catalog of his music, but from what I've heard so far, I really enjoy it. The numbers speak for themselves. Over 90 million plays on his most popular song, close to 6 million monthly listeners. That's a pretty big accomplishment. And XXL needs an artist like Naruto Wick on the cover, because his popularity is just going to skyrocket from here. Next artist we're talking about is Hot Boy. I feel like he could have made it last year. XXL has an interview with them on their YouTube channel, and that's usually a good indication on what artists they're taking a look at. His most popular song is Don't Need Time, over 42 million plays, plus the remix has a Lil Baby on it. A Lil Baby cosign, a Lil Baby feature means a lot, especially because how popular he is. I really like this pick because it brings a different type of vibe. I think having a variety of different artists with different sounds makes the ciphers that much better. That's how I mainly look at the covers. I look at what artists are good together and what artists can make the perfect cipher, because at the end of the day, people watch XXL for the freestyles, for the ciphers, and to see if it's actually anything near as good as 2016 was. Next artist we're talking about is Josiah. I felt it was too early for him last year, and people have been mentioning him to be on the cover for the past like 2 years now. But I think now is finally the time. He's built up a catalog of music. He has a variety of songs with different popular artists, and he's improved his sound so much compared to 2 years ago. When I first heard his music, it was a lot of yelling, but his most recent project on SoundCloud, Lost Lands, is a good mixture between that and more melodic rap, and it's an amazing listen. I really like the progression in his music, and I think this is the perfect year to put him on the cover, so I'd hope I'd be able to see it. At the 10th spot, I have Kenny Mason. Normally, XXL always has a female artist, but to be totally honest, I'm not really tapped in with female artists on the rise this year. I felt last year was a great year for a variety of different female artists. This year, not so much. XXL needs a rapidy rapper, and I think Kenny Mason is the perfect person for that, but he could also spice it up. Angelic Hood Rat Supercut last year was one of my favorite albums, and he definitely has a unique sound. In terms of popularity, I could see him being like a JID or an IDK, and although only JID made the XXL freshman list and IDK apparently didn't want to be a part of it, having an artist like Kenny Mason on the list, a very underrated pick. So there you have it. Those are my 2022 XXL freshman class predictions. Those are 10 artists I feel that are on the rise, and being on XXL would be a great look for all of them. Let me know who you think is making it in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, check out some of these other videos, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you for watching.